Hey, good morning. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart. And today I want to talk to you about expectations. And do we have the same expectations across the board? And you'll find out a little bit why I'm asking that as we go throughout today. So, have you ever stopped and wondered if your expectations were too high for some, but not for others? Have you ever wondered why, for some people, you may believe that things will get done, while others, you don't put any value in what they say that they will do something? For example, let's say at my work, my boss has things that he has to sign off for us. And when he does have to sign off for him, we put a document in the folder and we let him know that there's something in there to be signed. I know it'll eventually get signed off and be completed, and I check back daily and will sometimes again remind him because he's a busy guy. I don't doubt or ever wonder if it's going to get signed. Or how about when you're young and your parents, feed you and all that? You don't ever doubt that your parents are going to feed you or take you where you need to go. You just either assume or you'll ask. And even when they instruct you with rules, with consequences, you don't doubt that they won't follow through with the consequences for not following the rules. You know that they will. So, isn't it interesting why we doubt, wonder, or question that God will do something that He says in His Word that He will do? Why does He have to warn several times before we'll listen? Or why does He have to reassure us several times before we will believe Him? I mean, He's bigger than what my boss is. He's more powerful than what my parents are or what your parents are. So in the example of my boss, if I question or if I wonder if something is going to get signed, I go and I look, but I lean in and I look, or I will go and I'll ask Him. I don't just assume it's not going to get done. Or in the example of our parents, we ask them if they're going to feed us, or we go to them. We don't just assume that they don't care. In Ezekiel, God warned the people several times by saying and showing what will happen, but they didn't have ears to hear or eyes to see. And in Ezekiel chapter 12, verse 23, after God trying to show them through acting as well as saying through Proverbs, they didn't believe Ezekiel, and they said it's not going to come to pass because it hasn't come to pass, so it's not going to come to pass. So they continued living their life in sin because they didn't believe that it was going to come to pass. So finally God kind of got fed up with it, and He said in verse 23, "Therefore say to them, this is what the Lord God says, I will put a stop to this proverb, and they will not use it again in Israel. But say to them, the days have arrived, as well as the fulfillment of every vision, for there will no longer be any false vision or flattering divination within the house of Israel. But I, the Lord, will speak whatever message I will speak, and it will be done. It will no longer be delayed. For in your days, rebellious house, I will speak a message and bring it to pass. This is the declaration of the Lord God." So today, whatever you have gone to the Father about in prayer, or whatever He has given you instruction to do, which instruction is all throughout the Bible. And let me tell you, if you're one of the people who feel like, oh, the Bible was for back then, it's not for today, open it up. You will see there are so many things that happened in the Bible that are going on today in the world. And it amazes me how many times God has sent warnings, He sent instruction through people, and how many times we have not listened. Don't assume that God doesn't care. Hang on to His promises. Go to Him if you have doubt. Lean into Him. Don't just assume that He doesn't care. Hang on to His promises. His promises are all throughout the Bible. Listen to his instruction, because it will come to pass. God is the most powerful being on the face of this earth. He will have come to pass what he instructs and what he says. We just have to lean into him, lean on him when we doubt or when we question. So whether it's healing in your child, healing in yourself, or questions as far as why you're at where you're at, lean into him, lean into his word, and ask him questions in prayer. And don't just assume that he's not going to answer, or he's not going to show you or bring you to the place of understanding, because he will, and he has before in the past. So today I ask you, are your expectations the same across the board? Or are you expecting too much for one person, but not for the other? This is encouragement and motivation from my heart. And today I want to inspire you and encourage you to lean into God, lean on him. Don't doubt and don't assume that he's not going to take care of you, because he will, and he has been doing it all along. I hope you guys have a great day. This is encouragement and motivation from my heart.